And welcome to another episode of The Simpsons Did It. I'm your host, Steven Skolansky.
And I'm your co-host, Robert Skolansky.
Boy, I think this week's episode is like right up our alley. It's about collecting hard-to-find toys or very popular toys or beating up little girls to get our toys.
Wait, you beat up little girls?
No. Okay, wait. Okay, I beat up little boys to get our toys. Actually, grown-up boys to get our toys.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I've ever thrown a punch, but I definitely have run to get in line to beat flippers. I don't think we buy toys, though, that are really considered sexist, though.
No, maybe.
And none of them... Oh, no, I do have a talking...
Stupid Sexy Flanders. That's pretty sexist.
No, because that's from The Simpsons. I do have a talking Funko Pop, though.
Yes, the Rick one, yeah.
On the toilet. But he doesn't say sexist things. All it is the flushing of the toilet.
Yeah, and the only one that I'd want that's talking, I think, is that Darth Vader one. And I haven't been able to find that one yet. So I think it's only the second electronic Funko Pop. I don't think they do too many of those.
No, they gotta be, I think they gotta be pretty special.
Yeah.
So, this week, Simpsons did it. Season 5, episode 14. Lisa versus Malibu Stacy. And, this episode, we get to learn a little bit more about Mr. Waylon Smithers.
I know. It's a pretty good, but it's a short-lived Waylon Smithers. Yeah. But we do learn a little bit more.
Which is great. I always love episodes that expand upon characters.
Yep. And Lisa definitely sticks up for her ideals a little bit more in this episode. It's something we don't normally see from Lisa.
It's very interesting. So this aired in February 17th, 1994, which, another happy birthday to me. I don't care. I get 2 birthday episodes.
Oh, sure.
There is one 2 days before my birthday and one 4 days. They're both mine. But no, it's kind of interesting because I feel like this is kind of an episode I feel like would come out nowadays.
Yeah. I see this as more... But, I mean, Lisa seemed very progressive. I mean, Lisa always seems on top of things. Even though for an 8-year-old girl, I mean, she's still like, learning herself, learning how she could be a part. And she does sway, the girls.
Yeah, so chalkboard this week? None, because they hate us. No, this definitely what wasn't it? Like, just... They did the opening on the town into the couch.
Into the garage, yeah.
Because, it's a long episode, but it's a really good one. Couch gag this week. They wanted to get into it. They didn't want to think of anything new. So they just repeated the Monty Python foot gag from Homer Goes to College.
Yeah.
Which was another excellent episode.
That was a good couch gag. That's a classic one. Classic. So we start this week at the Center for Geriatric Medicine.
Well, old people need medicine.
Dude, there were a lot of old people. I didn't know there were that many old people in Springfield. It was like now, okay, so...
They have the retirement home.
Okay, so there's the retirement home. But then, okay, so we obviously learned that Matlock is going to be a guest speaker.
So maybe old people from like Shelbyville, North Haverbrook.
No, that's too far away. Capital City. But I mean, you look at the it's a long, front lawn. I mean, there's 1,000 old people there.
Well, yeah, old people love Matlock. It's like how we love The Simpsons.
Yes. And so Hibbert starts talking about healthcare for old people, and Abe just yells, "Get to Matlock!"
I could see that happening. I feel like that probably happens quite a bit at certain events where people just came to see a certain person or whatever, and they're like, "We don't care about your sales pitch. Just give us what we came for."
Yep. And so Hibbert introduces Matlock by saying, "Here's the man who puts young people behind bars where they belong."
So we belong in jail?
Apparently.
Or are we not? Or are we not considered young people by Hibbert's standards?
No, I don't know. So okay, so Matlock is obviously old now. Now, did Grandpa and all these old people watch Matlock in the 60s?
I mean,
was Matlock a 60s show? 60s, 70s show?
Well, yeah, it came out. I believe it came out in the 60s.
Okay, so I guess, wouldn't Matlock have been a young person?
No. Oh, God, we are way off. Matlock came out in 1986.
Okay, so he was putting young people into jail.
So when this episode aired, actually the year after this episode aired is when Matlock ended.
Oh, so it was more of like a special like meet and greet for a retired show. Like
No, because it was still on the air.
Oh well, like
the year
syndication.
After. Yeah, no. The original release was 86 and it ended in 95. It had a 9-year run.
Oh, so The Simpsons killed Matlock, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, Matlock made an appearance on The Simpsons.
See, and that's what a lot of like celebrities were afraid of. Like, they go on The Simpsons, their career was over.
Yes. Well, The Simpsons made it happen.
No, I highly doubt Simpsons had anything to do with cancellation of Matlock.
So Matlock gets on stage and is immediately bum rushed by old folks, but I think looking at it even deeper, I think it was just old women.
I don't know. I think some of the guys were up there because he was getting strangled pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, why would you attack your? I mean, well, there was one chick that cut her hair, man.
Huh?
Like one old lady got a lock of Matlock's hair.
I do also love the fact right before they bum rush the stage, they're singing "We love you, Matlock." Oh yes, we do. Yep. And then they're like, "Let's kill him."
And that's actually a movie moment.
Oh.
It's a song parodies "We Love You, Conrad" from Bye Bye Birdie from 1963.
Okay.
Yep. And so the only other bum rush I've seen for people is the Mark Hamill episode where all the nerds bum rush Mark Hamill.
I mean, I don't think I've ever rushed the stage to try to get at somebody. Now, granted, I feel like nowadays if you try that, you're just gonna get tasered.
Yes, yeah. Now you can't really do that.
No,
because of COVID. COVID ruined.
No. Dumb people ruined it.
Yes. So Jasper and Abe are riding the bus back to the old folks' home, and Jasper's like, "What's eating you, Abe? For 3 weeks, all you've been talking about was meeting Matlock. Now you met him, swiped his pills, and all of a sudden we hear."
Jasper looks at the pills. He's like, he has to take this every hour, else his heart has convulsions.
And then we see an ambulance drive by.
Clear. That's such a great side gag. I like it.
That's awesome. And so then we see Abe is sad because after seeing Matlock, he realizes he's no spring chicken either.
I would assume just being at the old folks' home would tell you that. Why would seeing Matlock be like, "Oh yeah, I'm not."
Well, maybe it's good. Well, Matlock was coming up on double crutches. He realized, wait, I'm kind of old. And so, Abe says he can feel the clammy hand of death on his shoulder, but he's wrapped in his jacket. It's just his own arm.
How did he not get his other arm through his jacket? Wouldn't you feel that, though?
He's old. He can't do it.
Wouldn't you notice if your hand was on your own shoulder?
Well, I mean, maybe his old clammy hands don't get the blood flow through it anymore, so it's kind of numbish.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but your shoulder would feel it.
Oh, maybe. And
I mean, he is old, so
so Abe goes over to Homer's house and the Simpsons' house to tell them he is not going to be around too much longer, and he wants to let them have their inheritance so he could watch them enjoy it. And it's not really much of an inheritance, I don't think. So
not really.
Abe gives Lisa his lifetime of correspondence letters, which Lisa reads one.
Yeah.
And I can't remember, it was like a celebrity. He was just annoying.
Yeah.
And then Abe, I think, proceeds to say, "Yeah, I'm not allowed whatever that was anymore." Yeah, Abe really does like handwriting correspondence. Yeah. Well, okay, we do see. Okay, you might have written those, but in later episodes, we actually see him on the typewriter writing to places. So, and Abe says to Homer,
he says, "And to my son."
Yes.
And Homer's like, "Woohoo!"
Yep, but Abe continues to say, "And the entire family gets dough." And Abe leaves a mint condition 1918 Liberty Head silver dollars.
I don't know if those are real things. I know silver dollars, but
remember the dated coins do have a lot of value to them.
Well, depending on when they were made and if they have imperfections, and I don't know if our dad still has them. Or if they got rid of them, but after I think our grandfather passed away, we had a coin collection.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I remember seeing them at the house, but I don't remember what happened to those coins. Yeah. I don't think they're really worth all that much, but who knows?
Well, the Simpsons are like, well, we're just going to sit on this. We're gonna go spend it. But Abe starts telling them a story about how we got them. Yeah. And Simpsons just get up and like, we're going to take the coins to the mall and spend them.
And there's a little animation here. I don't know if you noticed this.
I caught this, yeah.
So when Marge is putting on her jacket, her necklace changes from red to white. That's really weird. So they just missed shading a cell?
Maybe, but her pearls are normally orange.
Aren't they red?
No, they're more orange.
I think they're more red.
But the funny thing is, Lisa's pearls are white.
Yes.
And so maybe they got confused.
I don't know.
It's like, wait, white's Lisa's. Wait. We'll change it to red quickly. No one will notice, but they're really orange. And
also, I'd like to point out, so they get into their car, but none of them are wearing their jackets anymore.
No, because once you get in the car, you take off your jackets, right?
No,
It's kind of like, okay, so you wear your jackets outside, you go inside the house, you take off your jackets. You put your jackets on the inside of the house, you go to the car, you take off your jackets again, because you're back inside something.
No, I always wear my jacket. The only time I don't wear a jacket in my car is if I'm driving a long distance. So, like, when I come to visit you or I go visit our parents, even if it's cold outside, I cannot drive that long of a distance with a winter jacket on because it's so bulky.
Yeah, it does get hot.
This seems like it's like they're wearing, like, spring jackets.
Yes, yeah.
So, like, why take them off?
I don't know.
They're not that bulky.
Yep. So Abe apparently just wants to come with them and continue his story, and the family gets really bored. They're like, why are we even listening to this? Abe loves to ramble.
Yeah.
And so they get to the mall where...
So yeah, he's telling him a story about turkeys, and he's like, well, back in my day, turkeys, and then like they're in the car, but then they're in the mall, and then he's finishing the sentence saying... Oh, they used to be known as a walking bird.
We'd always have walking bird on Thanksgiving with all the trimmings. Yam, stuff with gunpowder. There was like something with, not pilgrims, but something, I don't know. Just...
But here's my question. Like, I get what they're going for, but like, how did he not finish that sentence in the car?
Because the Simpsons left. He wanted to wait. He wanted to make sure he got the end
also,
back.
I mean... Grandpa likes to ramble, so I mean...
It's like, we also used to watch football, which in those days we'd call baseball. And so I looked it up, because I wanted to see how crazy Grandpa Simpson was.
Okay.
And according to this article that I found, it says Thanksgiving Day used to be reserved for baseball games. So, in 1855...
Okay.
Baseball was, highlighted as the national pastime.
Yeah.
And so it used to be for professional games of its time, whatever. Obviously we didn't have MLB.
No.
But it used to, Thanksgiving, all these clubs would get together and play. The regular ball season is considered to close with Thanksgiving. So that's when they did it. Though many of the games were doubtless to be played through the winter, so they did a lot of them in the South.
Yeah.
And then eventually Yale and Princeton ended up being, the American Football Classic holiday game.
Yeah.
And so that's when it literally converted. So up to 55.
Yeah.
Or 1855 started it.
Yeah.
And then up until 1887, which Yale and Princeton played the first Thanksgiving football game. So it wasn't even obviously NFL yet, but Yale and Princeton played their first football game, and it converted from football or baseball to football. So, but I don't think Abe was alive in 1887.
No.
So unless he was watching reruns of baseball games on Thanksgiving,
I don't know. So now they're in the mall. And as they're walking by, there are some stores in the mall.
Yes.
And we see one-size-fits-all lingerie, which, no.
Nope.
We see the Leftorium.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. House of No Refunds. and just...
Wait, though. Isn't that like Goodwill or... there's a lot of places that are like, no refunds.
Maybe.
You buy it, you own it.
Yeah. Well, something like that. And then, it's just vinegar. But vinegar is spelled wrong.
Yep.
It's spelled with an extra N.
Yes,
so
it is.
So it's vinegar.
Vinegar. There's also, you did miss a few.
Okay.
So there's also...
Well, I couldn't read it because the animation is old.
So some of the other ones are simply shoes.
Oh, okay.
And origami designs, which is kind of cool. And then the last one, which they enter, Kidstown, USA.
Not affiliated with Kidstown Juvenile Correctional Farm.
What? Okay.
That was the sign on it.
Yeah.
So we go inside the toy store, because that's what it is. And we see Maggie writing her full name, on an Etch-a-Sketch. And we do know she is smart.
Yeah. She is. Oh, Maggie's smart. Yeah. But did you ever try to write your name on our Etch-a-Sketch?
Possibly.
I know I tried, and it's near impossible. I mean, you could theoretically do it in cursive.
Yes.
Which Maggie did.
Yes.
You can't do it. Now, I think I tried, so I was like, S, like doing cross, down, 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 down. But then you have to go back, because the S ends on the left, so you have to go back over that line, cross over, go up, left, right for T, and then across, down. I mean, you could theoretically do it block letters.
It's just harder.
It's just a lot harder.
And so, Homer comes over with a toy that we eventually see later for Maggie, but Marge's like, I don't think it's like I wrote it down later because Bart ended up taking it. It's like the command center.
Yeah, some sort of like Thundercats or some sort of G.I. Joe-esque thing. Yeah.
And so Marge is like, Homer, I don't think that's safe for Maggie. And Homer is like, oh, don't worry, it'll be okay. And then he literally cuts his finger on the toy, which, I mean, I think it's supposed to be made of plastic.
Yeah.
And then Homer, because he's angry because he cut himself, he hits the toy, which electrocutes him. And then the missile launcher turns, shoots a rocket off into Homer's mouth, where it explodes in his mouth. Okay,
so, you're not a dad, but I am. Now, my kid's he's going to be 4 in about 2 months.
Yes.
A little less than 2 months. Now, being a kid, you're like, ooh, I want this. And our parents, it's too dangerous. But as a dad, I'm almost like the same thing. I go to the Target, I'm like, oh, I want to play with that. So I get it for my kid and say it's for my kid, and then I'll play with it. And I wonder if Homer was thinking the same thing. He's like, oh, this is the coolest thing in the world. Yeah. Hey, Maggie, this is for you.
Is that why you guys have a Hot Wheels change the Hot Wheels that change colors with the water?
Well, Elliot's really good at that.
He showed me.
He knows how to do it. So that's not a... I even though the box for that, I think, says like 6, ages 6 and up, I mean, kids can use that. But like those command center things that shoot missiles and stuff like that, that's not really for a 3-year-old. But I would totally buy it, say it's for him, and then I would just play with it anyway.
Good thing your wife doesn't listen to our podcast. So then we see Abe at a toy aisle, and he takes out a rocket ship out of a box. He's like, back in my days, toys were built to last. And he just he tries to break it in half, and it doesn't just succeed right away but he does succeed in breaking it in half. And he's like, and then he tries and then he takes the toy soldiers, and he's like, and then he's like escorted away.
As soon as I step on these things, these are gonna break.
Well, no shit, Abe. They're toys. They're plastic. So then he's escorted away by security.
Come on, sir. These toy shoulders won't bother you anymore.
Yeah, they think he's having a PTSD moment with the toy soldiers. So then Homer comes across a giant floor piano and tries to play Rock Around the Clock, but it's not good.
Yes, this is a movie moment.
Thanks, I was getting there.
Where Homer plays loudly on the giant floor keyboard in the toy store, just like Tom Hanks in Big.
Yeah, I could have told you that.
1988.
You didn't need a book for that. I could have told you that.
Even though your notes say possible nod. It wasn't possible. It was. So I had to make sure you didn't say the word possible.
So Homer, and then I love how Homer just jumps at the end and the whole piano just breaks.
Have you ever jumped on one of those?
I've never seen one.
What do you mean you never seen?
I've never seen a giant floor piano anywhere. Okay,
so the name, I can't remember, what's the name of the toy store? You might know it from Home Alone 2, where Bart goes to Bart? Macaulay Culkin's character goes to that store.
Is it Macy's?
No, not Macy's. It's that big toy store where he gets all the money and all that stuff from. oh, why can't I remember it? You guys will probably know it, but they have a big giant.
Yeah, but that's New York. It's not Racine, Wisconsin.
No, but that same store exists in Chicago. That means it's a big toy store. But I have seen at stores.
It's so big you can't remember its name.
FR Schwartz, something Schwartz. I'm getting closer. But they actually sell it like Target's, the giant keyboard by that company. And I've got to use one every once in a while, but they're not hard plastic. They're not glass plastic. They're like more of a plastic-esque material. Like
I have seen the movie, and the movie is the same material.
It is, yes. But they make it like the old Dance Dance Revolution pads you'd have it in your home.
So now we go to the Valley of the Dolls, which really sounds more like a creepy movie than like a toy store aisle.
Yes.
And so Lisa and Marge come across a Malibu Stacy, what'd you call it? A display.
Yep.
And Lisa warns Marge she might go crazy, and Marge's like, "Oh, that's okay." And then Lisa's like gone, and she's like choking another girl.
She's like, "Hey, horseface, get your ugly pie hooks off that summer fun set."
Have you ever pushed anybody or hit anybody to get to a toy?
No.
Okay.
No.
Neither
have I complained because people are buying two in front of me? Yes.
But is the policy two per customer?
Yes, and I think it's a dumb policy. Well, okay, to be fair, I guess
No. You don't get to complain about that policy, because I know you've abused that policy. Because I've also abused that policy.
Yes. No, I for each other we do.
Yeah.
But most people like, well, I'll get one for me, one for flipping on the internet.
Or they just buy two to flip.
Or a family of 5 come, and they each get 2.
Which I think stores have finally cracked down on that crap.
Have they? Good. Because that always sucked. Because it should be 2 per family, not 2 per person.
So then we get a closeout section of the Malibu Stacy dolls, which include Achy Breaky Stacy. Like who's Miley Cyrus's dad? I can't think of his name. Billy Ray Cyrus.
Okay.
I think that's his name. And then we get Live from the Improv Stacy, and like the girls are like, ew.
Yeah, that Malibu Stacy, I think is where your shirt says comic relief or something.
And so then we see an employee bring out an unopened box, and a girl is like, "Oh, what is that?" And he's like, "Oh, it's the new talking Malibu Stacy." And then all the girls just like stop, look around for a second, and then just like bum rush him, and like the employee's like getting like mob rushed and like buried under girls.
He learned his lesson that day.
Yeah.
But no, I've been there where a guy will come out at Target, mostly Target, because usually at Hot Topics, Box Lunches, all these places where we get Funko
They already
Pops,
have them out.
They already have them out. But Target, they'll still have their boxes in their cages. Yeah. And every once in a while, I'll go there, I'll walk by the electronics, see a bunch of Funko boxes, and I'll be like, all right, let's crack open the cage. And then you see like 2 more Funko Pop Hunters come in, a couple more come in. And I was there the day that... No, I didn't get any of them. The day that the Space Jam and New Legacy Pops cracked out of the boxes.
Gross.
Dude, people were literally... Now, I'm sure they were all flippers.
Probably.
And 2, I'm sure they all lost all their money because no one wanted those dumb pops.
No, because Space Jam 2 was not a good movie.
Yes.
By any stretch of the imagination. And so we cut back to the car where Homer is baking a cupcake in an Easy Bake Oven. And Marge is like, Marge's like, Homer, I don't think that's a good idea. And Homer's like, well, that's what I bought it for driving.
Now,
I don't think they make Easy Bake Ovens that would work in a car.
Well, no, you'd have to have the
cigarette, because like this is 94, so you need the cigarette outlet. Nowadays, I don't know if they even... Well, I think they still make Easy Bake Ovens, but it's a plug.
Yeah, it is. So, well, even back then, it was a plug.
Yeah.
Because it has to heat up food and actually cook it. It was like basically a microwave for kids, which I don't think is safe.
No.
But, now, in mid-2000s, I know they made cigarette lighter to power strip conversion kits.
Yeah, I have actually I had it. I don't know if it still works, where you plug it into the cigarette lighter. Because, like, a lot of phones used to have that for the charger.
Yeah.
And I had, and it, like, you know how they make the power strips?
Yeah.
Well, I had one of those, but for the cigarette lighters.
Yeah,
so it was like 3...
That's exactly what I was explaining.
Ah.
Thanks.
Thanks
for explaining what I was literally explaining. But then they also made them that could actually hardwire right to your battery of your vehicle. Oh. And I bought one of those ones and had our Best Buy guys install it because I was like, well, I could keep doing the whole plug thing, but I didn't want to short out my battery or get done because if you left it plug in, it would burn out your battery. So I got it hardwired to my battery so I don't have to deal with that. Yeah. And then, yes, I could plug in my laptop. And I was dumb. I would, like, on those long trips from Racine to Minnesota, I had my laptop plugged in next to me, flip it up, a movie going, so I wouldn't be bored in my car by
That's
myself.
why you listen to music.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes I...
And nowadays, you just get a USB port in your car and you just plug it in the USB port. Yeah.
And so Bart is in the back now playing with the toy that destroyed Homer's life.
Apparently it did destroy Homer's life because he's driving while using an Easy Bake Oven.
I know. He's like, okay, Bart, you can have this. I get my Easy Bake Oven.
Yeah.
Because I bet Bart traded the Easy Bake Oven.
Why would Bart want an Easy Bake Oven?
He wouldn't. That's the thing. Bart had the Easy Bake Oven. He kind of convinced Homer, hey, Homer... I'll get that if you could cook in your car. It's like, deal. And so now Bart got it. And I like how, Bart is playing with it, and Abe tells him to watch it with that thing. And then a missile shoots out of the car and explodes. And Bart's like, ooh, cool.
Yeah. That's not a very good toy.
No. And so Lisa thanks Abe for buying them the toys, which... Abe did not buy them the toys.
Well, but he gave them the money to buy the toys. So essentially,
Abe
by the transitive property, Abe bought the toys.
Sure, but Grandpa's like, why didn't you get something useful? Like storm windows or a nice pipe organ. Okay.
I don't know. Well, I guess storm windows would be useful, but I don't know how a pipe organ would be. How is a pipe organ
I'm thirsty. Oh, what smells like mustard? There sure are a lot of ugly people in your neighborhood. Oh, look at that one. Ow, my glaucoma just got worse. The president is a Democrat.
Which, at the time, it was Bill Clinton. Oh, my God.
This is the episode where Abe just really loves going on...
rants.
Some rants, man.
Yeah.
And so the Simpsons, run into the house. They leave Abe in the car.
They don't even close the car doors.
Yeah, they gotta let some airflow in for Abe.
Well, no, I think they didn't close it because they wanted to get away from Abe and they didn't want to take the extra second to stay near him.
Yeah, it's like Abe's in the back. I can't get my seatbelt out.
But somehow he's able to reach the steering wheel?
Well, yeah, I can reach the steering wheel from the back.
If you're buckled in?
Well, yeah, because, the buckle's still...
Yeah, but
you might not be able to unbuckle it here, but the shoulder strap's still...
Yeah, but it's Abe. If he can't unbuckle the car seat, do you really think he's going to be able to lean over and...
Yes! Because the thing still moves. Unless you, jerk it forward, then it locks.
Well, he might have tried to jerk it forward.
No, he was able... I think that's definitely plausible. So Abe obviously figured out how to get out of the car eventually, whether he, ate through his seatbelt or not. And then walks in and into the house, and all the Simpsons just go to their room, shut their doors.
So I have a question. So I don't know if you noticed this. So if you look up the stairs, there is literally a door right next to the stairs, but that's just a wall to the hallway. Like, it's clearly on that wall where you go up the stairs.
I guess I wasn't paying attention that hard to that.
Yeah, I think it is an animation error.
And then, so Abe sits in the living room to watch some TV, and Homer tries to sneak past him, but trips on the cord to the phone. I don't think you should... Well, I guess I always have the phone on the... Okay, so that's a picture of he was in the living room.
So they have two phones.
Apparently they have two.
Or they move the phone around like the TV.
Apparently, yeah. So I thought the phone was on the back, on the rack by the steps. Apparently this time it was on the end table by the TV.
I don't know. They move it around.
Yeah,
because sometimes it's on the couch by the couch in the living room, like right next to the couch in the living room.
Exactly. So yeah, but I wonder where the phone jack is in the house.
Maybe they have like a 200-foot cord for the phone so they can move it around.
Yeah, exactly. And then he knocks the phone over, and then Abe's like, "Why are you people avoiding me? Does my withered face remind you of the grim specter of death?"
Death!
And then Homer's like, "Yes, but there's more, Dad. I love you, but you're a weird, sore-headed old crank, and nobody likes you."
Oh, God.
And, Abe agrees with Homer that he is, in fact, an old crank, but doesn't know what to do about it. So then on the TV we see a commercial for Buzz Cola. It's just a bunch of old people drinking it, becoming guitar rock stars.
But they're still old.
But they're still old, yes. Well, you can't get young by drinking Buzz Cola.
How do
just
you
get
know?
cooler. You just get cooler by drinking it.
Gotcha.
Well, I feel like whether you're young or old, the cool factor still shows up. But this is just for old people. This is for old people to think, oh, if I drink Buzz Cola, I can be cool like little kids.
Yep.
And so I like how Abe grabs the Buzz Cola in Homer's hand, which, funny enough, wasn't a can.
It was a bottle.
It was a bottle. So, I mean, they make 20-ounce bottles. So, I mean, but a weird thing is, it looked like a glass.
Well, they still make Coke in the glass bottle. Like, you can still buy, like, Coke, Sprite in glass bottles.
Yeah. And I like how he grabs it from Homer, starts to drink. He's like, the bubbles are burning my tongue. So, yeah.
Well, the carbonation, man.
That carbonation can get pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Especially on if your tongue is very sensitive.
Yeah.
So Lisa's up in her room playing with her Malibu Stacy. And, for the first time, she's like, oh, I've waited forever to hear you. And she pulls it, it's like, don't ask me. I'm just a girl.
No. The first thing the Malibu doll Stacy says, I wish they taught shopping in school.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And that saddens Lisa. And then she pulls the drawstring again. And then it says, let's bake cookies for the boys.
Yeah, she's like, come on, Stacy. I've waited my whole life to hear you speak. Don't you have anything relevant to say? He's like, don't ask me. I'm just a girl.
Yeah.
And then Bart walks by. Right on. Say it, sister. And Lisa's like, it's not funny, Bart. Millions of girls will grow up thinking that this is the right way to act. That they can never be anything more than vivacious ninnies whose only goal is to look pretty, land a rich husband, and spend all day on the phone with their equally vacacious friends talking about how damn terrific it is to look pretty and have a rich husband. Which is why we have Housewives of Orange County.
And Housewives of
New York. And New Orleans.
And
Virginia.
And Beverly Hills.
And Beverly Hills. And everywhere else. And Bart's like, just what I was going to say.
Yeah, this really, this whole story actually centers around
Barbie dolls.
The Barbie dolls, obviously. And, our mom had a set of Barbie dolls. Because I remember she kept them in my closet.
Which is hilarious because, this isn't until the end, middle end of the episode where Marge is talking about her owning Malibu Stacy.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny to think about, okay, well, our mom grew up on Barbie.
Yeah.
She didn't turn out like...
No.
No. Like the...
Well, so, I don't think it's necessarily like, oh, if you're a girl and you owned a Barbie back in the day, you're going to turn out like this, pinhead of a woman. Like, you're just an airhead. I think it's more of the fact that,
Well, I think it's all how you grow up.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if you guys have ever seen the movie Clueless... the Alicia Silverstone character, that's how she grew up. It had nothing to do with...
It's environment. Like, again, because I think a little bit later, I had said to myself in this episode, well, if your role model is a doll, you have more problems than just growing, because then there's probably life, like home issues if your only role model is a doll.
Yeah.
But at the same time, making this kind of doll is very sexist and we'll get into the episode a little bit about how, It
would have been actually really nice to have, a girl of our age on this episode to kind of help fill in some gaps.
Yeah, so if you are between the ages of 30 and 40 and grew up with Barbie dolls and like to comment on this episode, please do. We grew up with, now we call them action figures.
Yes.
But,
I wanted to be a Ninja Turtle when I grew up.
Aren't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, funny enough, my Jewish name is Raphael, so I did grow up to be a Ninja Turtle. No, but we grew up with dolls.
I almost wonder if that's different. You know what I mean? So girls, if you go to a toy store...
Oh, it is absolutely different.
It's so different. So girls literally grew up... And they still do. You go to Target, the doll aisles are cooking sets, cleaning sets, the dumbass Bratz dolls teaching girls how to be fucking hypocritical little shits. But, it seems like the girls section of the toy store is literally still this stuff.
I do think as a society, to a certain extent, we are doing a little bit better of a job of just letting kids play with the toys they want to play with.
We are, but the problem is the toy sections. The toy sections at the store. like, yeah, they can literally play with it however they want. And you see girls playing with, Lightning McQueen and a lot of Disney stuff. I don't think nowadays it matters girls versus boys when it comes to like the Disney aisle. Because it's cartoons, it's kids, and a lot of cartoons in general. But then you still have, for the kids age like maybe 10 to 15, where it's like, okay, you got the Marvel stuff, you got, not that girls can't be into that, which they are, but it's more, I'd say the percentage is like 80% boys, 20% girls. And I don't know if it's just parental or whatnot, but as far as this episode, the Malibu Stacy and girls related stuff, it's still this in the stores.
Well, I just kind of thought of this. You know how with kids and if you have a boy or a girl, like a boy has to wear pants and a girl has to wear dresses. That didn't used to be that way, right? Girls used to wear pants and men used to because you look at Scotland, men wear kilts.
Yes.
It didn't used to, be that way, but obviously society and blah, 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 blah. So now, Lisa, ends up hating the doll and she just chucks it out the window and we see Abe riding a bike, trying to act young.
Trying to be young, yeah.
And the doll hits
like, hey, this ain't so bad. Oh, wait, no, sorry,
No, I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's the line.
Yep.
Yeah, he's like, this ain't so bad, but the doll hits the spokes of the bike, which sends Abe flying. I don't know. Abe could have only been going like 5 miles an hour on this bike, yet it somehow manages to catapult him to the Simpson grave site into a freshly dug grave. And he's like, oh no, this is where he says,
hey, this ain't so bad.
God, how, or maybe was he going downhill?
Maybe. No, I think he was going down the street.
Oh my God. That's a Looney Tunes thing.
Yep.
Yeah, we always, every Simpsons episode has that.
Yep.
So, so now we cut back and Lisa comes up upon some girls playing with the talking doll. And she's like, well, don't you find anything wrong with what the doll says? And girl's...
Malibu Stacy first says, let's find makeup so the boys will like us. And it's like, don't you people see anything wrong with what Malibu Stacy says? And Celeste is her name.
Yes, I was getting there.
Did you know that was her name?
I did not.
Okay. Oh, there's something wrong with my Stacy. She pulls her string of her doll. The voice is coming from the doll is male. It's obviously a male voice. It says, my spidey sense is tingling. Anybody call for a web slinger? It's like, no, Celeste. I mean, the things she says are sexist. The girls giggle. Lisa said a dirty word.
Well, I mean, saying the word sexist in some people's eyes is dirty. So the girl who Stacy doll says the Spider-Man quotes is actually based on real events. So there's a feminist activist group calling themselves the Barbie Liberation Organization that replaced Talking Barbie's sound chip with ones from Hasbro, G.I. Joe, and Toy Biz's Marvel superheroes figures and placing them back on store shelves.
See, that's because that group wanted to do that. I personally would have done that as a really funny ass joke.
Yeah, that would have been
you know what I mean? Like they did this for a specific reason.
Yeah.
I would have just laughed my ass off and done it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is a pretty funny pull. So maybe this Celeste girl...
Prank?
Prank? So maybe the Celeste girl bought her Malibu Stacy after the group changed the chip.
Did you get a year on when that happened?
I didn't, but I'm assuming it happened in the 90s.
Okay.
Funny enough, I'm wondering how they got away with it. If they...
No, did they do it in a factory or did they do it on the shelves?
Well, it says they placed them back on the store shelves.
So they must have done it at the shelves.
Or did they buy the dolls, switch out the chips, and then return them?
I don't know. It seems,
because most stores have security cameras.
Yeah. So look, I get the fact that they did this. They did it for a reason, and it was funny. Now, to put your smarts towards doing something like that, you could have been doing other things more productive with your life. I mean, look, that's stuff. I personally would not probably been able to accomplish it. Pulling apart a doll, swapping out a voice box or a pull cord or what. I don't think I'm technology. I can do a lot of technology stuff.
Now here's the thing though. If Barbie was created, Barbie and those G.I. Joe figures are probably created by Mattel.
Yeah.
So the voice boxes are probably the same.
Similar, yeah.
So all you have to do is look at the wires, take it out of the Barbie, look at the wires, take it out of the G.I. Joe, and swap them.
Yeah.
Like, I think you would be able to do it. I think you're selling yourself short. So now we get back to the family eating dinner.
Yep.
And Lisa's like, or she's like, how can they, I can't talk. She yells about how they can't keep making these dolls and something must be done. And the family, like, just looks at her and continues to slowly eat. And they're like, okay, Lisa. And then Marge, like, Lisa, ordinarily, I would tell you to stand up for what you believe in, but you've been doing that a lot lately. So my mind went back to, past episodes. How many of the past episodes has Lisa been standing up for, like, a social justice cause, I guess you can say?
Yeah,
like,
social justice cause, no. I mean, I guess...
She didn't do the casino episode.
Not Last Temptation, no. Boy Scouts in the Hood, she made fun of Bart.
Yeah.
Bart's inner child, she really didn't stand up for
No.
anything. She just made fun of Bart. I mean, yeah, I don't...
There's no recent episode
that I could think of
where she's like, so that's kind of a weird line.
Yeah, because
I mean, I get it. I mean, I get it because, like, Lisa has these ideologies where she, like, Whacking Day.
Yes,
she thought was
that was probably the last one.
Possibly, that's the only one I could think of.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, obviously, in future episodes, she does a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, it makes sense. And I love how this is how progressive Lisa is because remember, this is '94. Bart points out to Lisa that she made them march in a gay rights parade. Yep. And Bart holds up a newspaper with the headline, "Local gays show their pride," and a picture of Bart in the front of the parade. Well, maybe not in front of the parade, but he's in the parade. Which, good for Lisa. Good for Lisa. And Homer is like, he complains about, we can't watch Fox because Fox owns chemical plants in Syria. And to be perfectly honest, this was kind of ironic and funny to me because it was like a couple of years ago where there were issues with Syria.
Yeah.
And so it was like, I mean, I think there's kind of always problems with, certain countries in Europe and the Middle East. So I don't think Fox owns chemical plants in Syria.
Probably not.
They probably don't, but you should be watching Fox. I highly doubt that's why Lisa had Homer stop watching Fox.
Because the Simpsons are on it.
No, I think she meant Fox News.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe Fox. I don't know. My first thought was Fox News. So Lisa can't believe they would sit by while the doll is being a role model. And this is where I thought, well, I'm like, if a doll is your only role model, you need to, even as a child, you might want to go talk to your parents or talk to a teacher and be like, hey, my home life sucks.
Hey, my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were a great role model. That's how I became to love pizza. And a lot of random crap on my pizza. Okay, I didn't eat a lot of random crap on my pizza like Michelangelo did. I mean, he always had, like, Oreos and...
Wait, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles taught you your love for pizza, just not eating pizza?
I guess so, maybe. But my love for pizza stemmed... Because, I mean, look, the Ninja Turtles came out in 88, so I was like 5, and I don't know how much our parents let us eat pizza. So, I mean, it's plausible that I was like, Mommy, I want to eat pizza like Michelangelo.
So is there a topping, that you don't think should go on pizza? Like, of all the toppings, like, people use? Like, would you put pineapple on pizza?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not one of those people. Good.
No. So Marge's like, I had a Malibu Stacy when I was little, and I turned out all right. Now let's forget our troubles and with a big bowl of strawberry ice cream. Then Lisa pulls the string on her Stacy doll, and she says, now let's forget about our troubles with a big bowl of strawberry ice cream. Now, first of all, this must have either been written on a card or on the back of the Malibu Stacy box, because remember... This is the first ever talking Malibu Stacy doll.
Or maybe it's something Marge says, and somebody got Malibu Stacy over.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It would have had to have been a reference either. I don't know if Marge growing up, there was a Malibu Stacy TV show, but there would have had to been something. Because if this is the first talking Malibu Stacy doll, there would have had to been some sort of reference, whether on the back of a box or a card or...
Well, did Barbies come with, like, lines on them? Like, talking lines?
Yes, I collected Barbies as a kid. No, I don't know that.
Well, I'm sure you've seen a Barbie box.
No, I have not seen a Barbie box.
You never looked at a Barbie box?
No. Do you go when you're at Target looking for Funko Pops? Like, I wonder what these Barbie boxes.
No, but like as a kid, I'm sure I've seen a Barbie box.
I don't think I've ever seen a Barbie box. I don't think I've ever even put away Barbies when I was working at Target.
I think I did when I worked in the toy section, but I haven't really looked. I mean, I put away. When you work in the toys section, you put away toys. I've had to get like those Monster High doll for people when those were popular. Those are dumb. Anyways, moving on. So Lisa decides to call the company to complain, and she finds out that she can actually take a tour of the factory and complain in person.
So the recorded announcement was, "Hello, you've reached the Malibu Stacy Customer Service Center. If you have a complaint about Malibu Stacy's appearance or odor, +1. Woo! If you've been given a Malibu Stacy a haircut and need to order a replacement head, press 2. Now, that's a true fact.
I've done that.
Kids have cut the hair on their dolls thinking it would grow back.
Yeah.
For information about our factory tour, press 3. And Lisa's like, Mom, we could go to the factory tour and I can complain in person. And then Marcia's like, honey, you're not going to throw red paint at the executives, are you? The Keebler people are very upset.
Why wouldn't you throw red paint at the Keebler people? They make cookies.
Yeah, that's really odd. Now, the whole red paint thing was for Fur's murder sort of thing. So I think maybe that was like the joke for that side of it.
But what would Lisa have against Keebler elves? They make cookies.
They use meat. I don't know. I don't know. But so yeah, then we cut to the plant where Malibu Stacy. Now I didn't realize the Malibu Stacy factory was in Springfield. Or did they have to travel? I don't know.
They might have had to travel.
I don't know if they had to travel or not. But the sign by the plant reads Petrochem Corp, proud makers of caustic polypropylene and Malibu Stacy.
So for those of you who don't know what polypropylene is, it's in a lot of plastic. Like the chair I'm currently sitting on probably is made from polypropylene. I don't know what caustic polypropylene is. It probably means the polypropylene is not safe to be around.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny that now it's got to save a lot of money though. That the place that makes the plastic is also this place that makes the toy.
Yeah,
less shipping.
Well, yeah, unlike the box factory.
Yeah, they have to ship the boxes to Flint, Michigan to get folded.
Yeah.
And so they're taking a cart through the factory, and the tour guide says, some people would say there is a touch of fairy dust in the air. And they drive by the workers.
They're like surly old men.
Yes. Well, they look like ex-cons.
Yeah.
And that, in all reality, those are the jobs. So, garbage, I don't really know garbage collectors, but like factory workers, warehouse dock workers, stuff like that.
There are a few restaurants that will employ ex-cons.
But they look like ex-cons. Like, that's the type of job because you don't need schooling. You don't need anything to do that type of job. But that's why surly old men are great for Malibu Stacy Factory. And the guy's like, there's a clog in the torso chute. And then a guy comes by with like a plunger.
No, it was a broom.
And then like jams it in there and like 500 torsos just drop out.
Yeah.
And so we see that Malibu Stacy is referred to as America's favorite 8.5-incher.
Yeah, they're watching a video on Malibu Stacy.
Now, I don't know. Okay. Now, women's toys, we'll stick it as that. I feel like there was something that was dubbed this phrase that the Simpsons were
probably
going off of. I would have to imagine that. There's no way that joke.
But it's a kid's toy.
No, I know, but I feel like that phrase, America's favorite.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
What's that?
Get your mind out of the gutter.
You mean to get Bill Oakley and Josh Weinstein's head out of the gutter?
Yeah.
I should have really messaged Josh Weinstein because I know he's been wanting to do our podcast for a while. I should have got him for this one.
Yeah.
So what were you thinking when you wrote this? So we see that Malibu Stacy was created in 1959, and I'd have to imagine that probably Barbie was around that.
Barbie's been around for a long time.
Yep. And so the original model was supposed to be edible. Okay, why would you make an edible toy?
Because you play with it.
So they keep buying it.
Yes.
Ooh, you play with it, eat it, and then you have to make your parents go buy
another one. But don't make the toy out of dried onion meal.
Maybe that was the most
durable.
Durable. because it would dry and
well,
harden.
It's meal.
Yeah. And then we also find out in the video that we find out that Waylon Smithers has the largest collection of Malibu Stacy dolls. And then he's like, you can see me at the next Stacy Con in San Diego.
Oh, my God. Yeah, well, I mean, boys can collect dolls. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Go Waylon Smithers.
Yep.
And so as the tour ends, the Claire Harper is her name. She's the person running the tour. Well, that's the tour. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer. I have one. Yes. Is the remarkably sexist drivel spouted by Malibu Stacy intentional, or is it just a horrible mistake? Her's like, believe me, we're very mindful of such concerns. And then a man opens the door to the adjacent boardroom filled with male executives. And the executive does his, like, the wolf whistle. Yeah. Hey, Jiggles, grab a pod back at that gorgeous... grab a pad and back that gorgeous butt in here. And she's like, oh, you, get away. And she giggles and says, oh, don't act like you don't like it.
Yeah,
that's the... so if you guys have seen Mad Men out there, that's not a reference to Mad Men, because obviously that came out later.
Well, that is a reference to real life boardrooms being overtly sexist.
In the 50s, yeah, or 60s. Now?
Well, maybe not so much now. Maybe not so much in the 2020s, but definitely the 90s.
Yes.
And early aughts.
Yep. Yeah. And so Lisa complains about being a kid. She's like, "Oh, it's awful being a kid. No one listens to you." And then Grandpa's like, "It's rotten being old. No one listens to you." And Homer's like, "I'm a white male, age 18 to 49. Everyone listens to me, no matter how dumb my suggestions are." Oh, yes. And he pulls out a can out of the cupboard, and it's labeled nuts and gum together at last.
Oh, God. Dude, the Simpsons writers have nailed this episode.
I know. Oh, my God. And Grandpa's like, and griping, it's time for... And Lisa's like, action. Gotta talk to that woman who invented Malibu Stacy and see if I can get her too. And then Grandpa butts in, come out of retirement. I'm gonna get me a job. A real Malibu. And see if Stacy can help invent me young. And he looks at Lisa, help. Lisa's like, you're getting a job. Yes, I'm going where the action is.
And that action is Krusty Burger.
Oh my God.
That is a fantastic scene. Because, old people get confused easily.
Oh my God. That was so great.
And so then we cut to Abe.
I would love to see. Now, I don't know. I feel like they do this in a record. Like, they don't record their voice like back then. Now I think that with COVID and a lot of stuff, they've recorded their lines separately and they actually mix them together. But here, I bet they did it in the same room.
It's possible.
Right? I would have loved to seen Dan Castellaneta and Lisa not Carvener. What's her face? She was on Bart of Darkness for a long time. Nancy Cartwright.
Right, yeah.
I would have loved to seen both of them in this room doing this scene. That would have been awesome.
That would have been great. So yeah, Abe gets a job at Krusty Burger. I love how he's like playing with the knobs for the drive-thru. He's like, Mayday, Mayday! What do you want? And the guy yells at him through the drive-thru window, and he's like, I just want French fries. We sell French fries? Oh, God, it's so good. Why would, I mean, I guess old people need to work, but why would you hire an old person to run your drive-thru? For the chaos? Is it for the chaos?
It's for the chaos, yes.
So now we go back to Lisa, and she has decided to seek out Waylon Smithers to see if he can help her get into touch with the inventor of Malibu Stacy. And so Waylon's like, oh, you've come at just the right time. He tells her that he's writing a newsletter about Stacy Lavelle's last known whereabouts, who is the creator of Malibu Stacy.
Yep.
And this is probably one of my favorite gags ever. He turns on his computer and a digital Burns appears and says, hello, Smithers. You are quite good at turning me on.
And he's naked. And he has his arms across his chest.
And Smithers looks at Lisa. You should probably ignore that.
Oh my god.
That is great.
Now, who made that? Is Waylon Smithers a good coder?
I don't know.
I feel like he's the only one that would make that.
Well, what about Professor Frink?
Okay, Professor Frink might be one of the only other people in Springfield that would do that.
Because we don't see people are good with computers yet. Because this is '94.
Exactly.
So maybe Frink, or maybe Smithers asked one of his gay friends to do it because then he wouldn't get judged. Because this is '94.
Or he had, hey, Mr. Burns, while you're in the shower, can you do this and say you're quite good at turning me on, and he's recording it and then he makes it digital?
Oh my god. All right, we've gone too far. So Lisa decides, Lisa finds out that Stacy Lavelle lives at the Recluse Ranch Estates. I don't think you're going to name your estates for the people who are recluses. And so, Lisa, bikes up to Stacy Lavelle's house, which happens to be Malibu Stacy's dream house.
Yes. Well, obviously, she had the money to build
whatever house she wanted. And so then Lisa rings the doorbell.
She's like, excuse me, Miss Lavelle, I'd like to talk to you about Malibu Stacy. She's like, do you have any idea how many kids have tried to track me down? Am I the first? Yes.
And Stacy Lavelle is voiced by the one and only Kathleen Turner.
She is.
Yeah. And so Lisa, plays the doll for her, and the doll says, thinking too much gives you wrinkles. Yeah. And so Lavelle's like, oh, screw this noise, and opens up the gate for Lisa. And I love how some kid goes, oh, finally, I've been waiting 9 years to get my Frisbee back because it's behind the gate. And then, the gate closes, and the kid, runs off screen. Who is he throwing the Frisbee to?
Himself? I don't know.
And he throws the Frisbee right back over the gate. He goes, oh.
Apparently, I wonder if he's tried to ring Lavelle's doorbell, and she just wouldn't open the gate to let him get his Frisbee back.
I don't know. And also, he's like, I've been waiting 9 years, but the kid looks 9 years old. Shouldn't he look 18?
Maybe, something like that, yeah.
And so we go into Stacy's house, and Stacy mentions she was forced out of her own company in 1974 because of her way of thinking wasn't cost effective. And Lisa's like, oh, that's awful. And she's like, well, there's also the whole funneling profits to the Viet Cong. Jesus, maybe she should be in jail. Good Lord. And so then Lisa, tells Stacy that, Malibu Stacy has her name attached to the doll, and so she has a responsibility. And she's like, I would be mortified if someone made a lousy product of The Simpsons with the Simpsons name attached. Now, I spent 5 good minutes searching for Simpsons products because I know there's a Simpsons Monopoly, there's Simpsons Pops, there's the Simpsons Lego sets.
Well, there's everything. There's everything. There's shampoo. Shirts. I mean, there's everything. They
made a Buzz Cola energy drink, which is actually okay. I've been drinking Duff beer at Universal. The only bad product that I could think of because it's on a list of people opinions is the original Funko Pops. They're on a list of top 50 ugliest Funko Pops ever made.
Not that bad.
They're not horrible, but number one definitely nowadays is that Carnage Pop.
Yeah, sure.
It looks like a meatball.
I don't know. The only thing I could think of is maybe some European stuff because if you guys don't follow Bart of Darkness, he has his own some huge or the Simpsons man. Yeah, follow them. They have amazing stuff, and they always collect from Europe and other countries, and they get a lot of stuff. And I haven't really seen a single bad.
I've never used a Simpsons product that was bad. Now, granted, there aren't many usable Simpsons products out there.
But then again, Lisa said she'd be mortified if someone made one, but they haven't, so she's not mortified.
I mean, there's a lot of bootleg Simpsons merchandise out there that is awful, but I don't consider that official Simpsons merchandise.
No, it's not. Yeah, and so she's like, I may have had things in common with Stacy in the beginning. but 30 years of living her lifestyle taught me some very harsh lessons. 5 husbands. Ken, Johnny, Joe, Dr. Colossus, Steve Austin. Yeah, Steve Austin had his own action figures. Well, I mean, he was a wrestler, so
yeah.
I mean,
was that supposed? No, because I don't think Steve Austin became Steve Austin until the mid-90s.
Oh, really?
I'm actually very curious about this.
Okay, you take that. So Lisa asks Stacy for help. Stacy says, not now. I'm too drunk. Lisa says, no, you aren't. Well, Lisa knows. Well, I'll go look. Lisa knows drunk because she knows Homer.
Yes.
So
yeah.
she knows. So back at the good old crusty.
So Steve Austin started wrestling in '89, but I don't remember when he became. Okay, '91 is when he was stunning Steve Austin. So he was going by the Steve Austin moniker. So yeah. So probably that.
I mean that was her 5th husband. So by that time she quit in '74.
Yeah.
And she had her run of her lifestyle. I say by early 90s she would have been on Steve Austin.
I mean, Steve Austin's been married plenty of freaking times.
Maybe that's the joke.
Well, so he's had 1, 2, 3, 4 wives.
Yeah.
But none of them named Stacy.
Yeah. So back at the Krusty Burger, Squeaky Teen Voice Teen tells Abe and another worker that they need more secret sauce.
Oh.
And the secret sauce is putting mayonnaise in the sun.
Gross.
Yeah, that's Krusty Burger for you.
Yeah.
And so I like how the kid just wrapping burgers, going, and Abe's, telling him, oh, the boss is gone. We could be, crazy. And then he takes his dentures out and starts puts them in a bun, starts talking, and the kid grabs the bun teeth and wraps it up.
Well, it's funny because Abe is like, look, the burger could take a bite out of you.
And then the guy eats it. He's like, the hamburger took a bite out of me. Now did he like, because like you eat a burger with, I mean, some people eat it with one hand, but you don't like open it up. So like, did he open it up to take a bite and like he like bit his own tongue with the dentures? That would have been really funny.
Yeah.
And so Lisa goes back to Stacy and is like, I've got the solution. You and I are going to make our own talking doll. She'll have the wisdom of Gertrude Stein and the wit of Kathy Guest-White and the tendencies of Nia Tottenberg and the common sense of Elizabeth Cady Stanton, which...
I don't know any of those names. And I don't really care to look it up.
And to top it off, the down-to-earth good looks of Eleanor Roosevelt.
Was Eleanor Roosevelt
probably in her younger... I think I've only ever seen older pictures of her, but I think probably in her younger years, she was probably relatively good-looking. And so Stacey thinks the doll...
No, she was like...
Sorry, she'll make the doll. She throws her drink into the fireplace, which obviously it's alcohol.
Yeah, but it's got to be a certain proof for that fire to go really big.
She gets drunk pretty quick. It's got to be.
What, is she drinking 151?
Well, other alcohols light on... Dude, rum lights on fire.
You understand, for alcohol to light on fire has to be a certain proof.
Yeah, but, I mean, rum's at a high enough... There's a lot of shots that you can light on fire that don't involve 151.
Fair.
So, and so her third husband, Joe, comes in and is like, Stacy, please, I must have you back. Just come for a ride with me in my mobile command unit. And Lavelle's like, Joe, I told you, it's over. Release me from your kung fu grip.
And if you notice the animation, there is a line on Joe's neck, which makes it seem like he's a doll.
I mean, I feel like G.I. Joe was modeled after an army person. The only one that really doesn't make much sense is Dr. Colossus, because wasn't he like a... I can picture what he looks like. I can't remember what series. I can't picture what series he was.
Colossus.
Now, obviously, Ken, Barbie, Johnny. Is Johnny...
Well, there's a rock band. Dr. Colossus.
No, he was definitely an action figure. I think he was from like... I don't think he was G.I. Joe.
Well, there's Colossus from X-Men.
Maybe.
I don't think Dr. Colossus is a real action figure.
I feel he is. Type in Dr. Colossus action figure.
I did. The only thing that came up was Colossus from X-Men.
Oh, that's weird. Maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe it's supposed to be a play on Dr. Manhattan.
Maybe.
Which would be weird.
Yeah. So the Simpsons and Stacy are creating the doll, and Lisa, asks Stacy to make sure she gets Marge's hair just right. And they all chime in for their own, hair.
Yeah.
And Stacy's like, well, you all have hideous hair. Well, for sculpting purposes.
Although, Homer really doesn't have hair.
Yeah.
He has the two little... But, again, and it's a girl's doll, like... It should either be Lisa's hair. I mean, I guess Bart's hair is okay.
Yeah, but then they end up going with, like Stacy's type hair.
Yeah.
Because he needed long and flowing. So, I mean, it's not about being sexy, actually. So, straight down shoulder length hair is probably the best hair for any girl's doll because if they want to brush it, braid it, you don't want to have...
But at the same time, when it comes to dolls, you want good representation because a lot of hair for black women is not that flat curly style.
No. That's right. But I think they probably went with it for that reason. Not necessarily to be sexy.
No. I'm not saying it was.
Just because if
I'm saying nowadays.
Like, can I do much? I have a nice fro. I can't do anything with my hair except maybe
tie it up.
I don't know.
I don't really have hair. Well, I do. No, I have hair.
I'm just saying for a girl, even like an African American girl. I mean, if you're putting a fro on your tiny fingers aren't going to cornrow it. No. I mean, I think they did that for being able to physically do stuff with it. And yes, Homer does not have hair. So now we get Lisa recording lines for her talking doll. And I like how she says a line, she's not quite sure how it sounds. Yeah. And the producer tells Lisa they have, other talking dolls to record. You got to get going. And so Krusty runs into the room, records his lines, just goes through his cards, reads them all, and then throws his cards and walks out. And I like how the producer's like, all right, Krusty, you're ready to go. Krusty?
Well, it's funny, too, because, when he walks out, he tells Lisa to learn from a professional.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, that's great.
I mean, good news is Krusty knows what he's doing, but you gotta wait for someone to tell you that we're ready to.
Yeah, working in television, that certainly happens every once in a while, where, I'm, setting up the recording, and the other person will just start talking. I'm like, no, you have to wait. They're like, oh.
Don't you know what the word action means?
Well, or you just wait for the person recording to tell you to start recording.
Or isn't there a light that goes on?
No. Well, there is a light that goes on if a microphone is on. That only tells you the microphone is on. That doesn't tell you you're recording.
Oh, okay. And so Lisa, has her doll and is playing a line out of it, and they all, need to suggest a name. They're like, okay, we need to figure out what we're going to call this. And Bart suggests Blabbermouth. The jerky doll for jerks. And then then I like how he's jumping around in the background. Wendy Windbag. Ugly Doris. Hortense, the mule-faced doll. Loudmouth Lisa. Stupid Lisa Garbage Face.
Somebody pay attention to me.
Yeah, somebody pay attention to me.
I do like how Lisa suggests, because she wanted to name it Minerva, the Roman goddess of wisdom, and Stacy Lavelle was like, that's not marketable enough.
Yep.
How about we name it after Lisa? And they named the doll Lisa Lionheart.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
Where's Lionheart from?
A lot of things.
What's that?
It's a lot of different...
No, is that is it a lot? I don't think it's a lot of things. I mean, I kind of look at it like maybe Lion Rich in the Wardrobe.
Yeah.
Or is it a name from Thundercats? Lionheart? I feel like Lionheart's like Thundercats or something.
So, there's a movie by Jean-Claude Van Damme called Lionheart.
That's obviously where they got the name from.
There's
no, we can end it there. That's where they got the name from.
Right. There's also a toy line that looks like, I don't know. There's so many different uses for the name Lionheart, but I think you're right. I think there's something in history with that name.
Yeah.
And so they go to the Kidstown store to get them to sell the doll. And the reason Kidstown was willing to sell the doll was because Stacy Lavelle told them who she was.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have that clout, man. Clout.
Yes.
And so now we cut back to the factory where the people who make the doll, the Stacy doll, want to sing Lisa Lionheart. So they're like, well, let's call DC for a favor. And the favor is a guy rolls by the Simpsons house, throws a brick at the door, just it hits the door. They drive away and they laugh. And Bart and Homer are like, "Did you guys hear something? No, all right,
yeah.
That's it. That's what you're gonna do.
Yeah, that's how to tank a man.
Oh, and so now
I think if it would have went through the window, it would have been better.
Well, I think that was the point.
They
missed.
He says horrible. And what is he, a stormtrooper?
Yeah, and so now we cut to Kent Brockman's house.
Yep, and Brockman's daughter's like, Dad, my new doll's much better than Malibu Stacy. Do a newscast about her. And Brockman chuckles like, oh, please, honey. Daddy's job is to bring people important news. Right now, I'm very busy preparing a report about the 40th anniversary of Beetle Bailey.
By the way, that is a comic strip.
Yes. Oh, Daddy, that is boring. Talk about the dolly. And Brockman's like, well, you're right about the Berlin Wall.
How? Well, when did the Berlin Wall come down?
80s. Mid-80s.
That kid is like 8.
Yeah, but I'm sure she lives in the house, so she might know her dad's work or seen news. Well,
yeah, but
how would she be able to tell him about it?
Yeah.
Right, that's where you're going. Okay.
I do like the fact that, like, because that's not really how news stories come about. Now, granted, we don't know what kind of news station Brockman works for.
Now, I wonder if nowadays, so maybe you know because you're in the industry, so you probably get more of your up-and-coming news from maybe it's more puff pieces, but from like social media or something that's like jumping out, right?
Not really. Like, reporters still do, they put in work to like find stories. I guess they probably peruse more social media nowadays. Yeah. But like,
or it could be someone like, okay, let's say I read something that just happened, or like something in my city just happened, and I walk in the studio. Oh, do you guys know about this yet? And maybe it was such hot news. Well, no one knew about it.
Well, to be fair, I remember there was a not really snowstorm, but the roads were really bad, so I didn't take the highway home, and I went through town, and the police had blockaded off a part of the street I was trying to get down, and I go into work the next day, I'm like, hey, does anybody know about this? Nobody had a clue.
Yeah, so,
But that's the thing, police scanner, like, police sent out a report, like, if you're blocking off a major road in the city... But no, like Facebook and like, people look around, but also
especially kid stuff. If there's a
But here's the thing. When I worked in Madison, I remember this specifically because I hated the fact that these stories ran. One of the stories that ran talked about the Monster High dolls. It was basically an advertising piece for them, and like that's not news.
Yes.
Running now if you're running
so that's where Ken Brockman got the idea for the
Now, running news on dolls specifically because of, like, they're unsafe to be around,
yes,
I'm fine with that. But if you're running a story on a doll to sell it, like,
I don't know.
That's not journalism.
If your station ran a store about the newest Simpson Funko Pops, you're like, yes, go ahead. No, go ahead, talk about it.
No, that is terrible. So now we cut to the newscast.
Deku's here? Yes, let's run that story.
Finally. So now we cut to the newscast where Kent is like, well, I know it's unusual to spend 28 minutes on a doll, but as you saw, I found it impossible to stop talking about. So Lisa got free advertising.
Yes.
For 28 minutes.
Okay, when was that? That Monster High story must have been way after The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah, this was that Monster High story was like 2015.
Did they spend 28 minutes on it because they couldn't?
No, it was a 30-second VO.
Oh, okay.
Video talking. So then Kent wraps up his show and the music plays and he's like, and tomorrow we'll tell everyone the president was arrested for murder and they would have more the next night. Yeah, I'm pretty sure no matter who the president is, if it comes out he murdered somebody, local news would not be on television. No. It would be national. Yeah. Like, that is a huge story.
But it would eventually be local talking about it, right?
Yes, it would eventually go local, but, like, do you remember the Boston bombing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was wall-to-wall coverage for national news for, like, 8 hours. I think we ended up doing, because I was still living in Green Bay, I think we ended up doing, like, a 20-minute newscast, and then cut out because they found the kids or the one kid. So like, yeah, if it's a huge story, you're not going to see your local news anchor on the news.
Yeah,
it's going to be all national. So and then I love how like Kent's like he's like, oh, you can turn to another channel, and he looks off camera. No, don't turn to another channel. That's a bad idea. Oh God, that's great. I love that. Yeah, if a news anchor ever tells you to just turn to another channel, you probably shouldn't be watching that first channel in the first place. So now we go to the head of the Malibu Stacy division, and they're like, "Our plan failed." Well, no shit. It was throwing a brick at a door. And so they're like, "Well, we have to reinvent the doll for the '90s." And we'll stay here all night if we have to. And some guy's like, "Can we order Chinese food?" Yes.
Yes.
And they all sit down and they're like, "Oh, does anybody know a good place?" It's hilarious. So now we go back to the Krusty Burger. Where
Is there even a good Chinese restaurant in Springfield?
Like, I don't think there is one. Yeah. I don't think they have a Chinese restaurant. I don't think I've seen one up until this point.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen one either.
There might be one in the mall. Because malls always have Chinese food.
Yep.
So now we cut back to the Krusty Burger where the old folks have come to complain about their food.
Why are they going to Krusty Burger in the first place?
Yeah, they would just eat at the retirement home. Maybe it's their...
Perkins. But
they don't have a Perkins.
Or Country Kitchen.
They don't have those in Springfield. They
only gotta have a diner of some kind.
Yeah, Krusty Burger. So Jasper complains about how he cut his tongue on some pancakes, and another lady's like, she couldn't digest her eggs, and she wants soft-boiled eggs. And I did notice Hans Moleman is in between Jasper and the lady, and he has a mustache.
I didn't notice the mustache, but I thought Hans Moleman was only 31 years old.
I know. Well, he looks like it. So like it's early bird special for breakfast.
Oh, right.
So he gets cheap breakfast, and so Abe tells her they don't have them, and he realizes he shouldn't be listening to their complaints, but he should be with them making complaints. And so Abe's like, the good Lord let them grow old for a reason. And that reason is to gain the wisdom to find fault with everything he's made, and he is as God, which is great. And so Abe goes up to the squeaky teen kid, although Abe thinks he's like some old guy, Mr. Peterson. Was that how we call it? It's like, I quit. By the way, I never washed my hands. That's your policy, not mine.
It was also like, you could take this job and fill it.
Yeah, I do love the line where he's like, "I never washed my hands." That was your idea, not mine.
Yep. And so as they're lifting up Abe and cheering for him and wandering out before he falls, you actually see what's being sold at Krusty Burger.
I didn't look for that.
And I was like, do I want to write down all these?
Yes,
I do. And so it's surprising it wasn't in my book, so I had to take the initiative and do it myself. So things that they sell at Krusty Burger. They sell a cheeseburger, 69 cents.
Okay.
Krusty bacon cheeseburger for 99 cents. Krusty pork sandwich, $1.29.
Okay.
Krusty ground sausage burger, which I'm like, what is that, a hamburger?
It's a ground sausage made into a pasty. Have you never had a brat patty? Like they make a brat, but it's like a burger patty.
Oh, okay. So maybe that, okay. So that's $1.29 as well. Krusty Nuggets. That's terrible. That's not a good name. No. You could get a 6-piece, 12-piece, or 24-piece.
Okay.
Krusty Dogs.
No price?
No price. Yeah, no price.
It's free.
It's free, yeah. Curly fries.
Ooh.
And then you can add it with cheese for $1.19. Ooh. And a Krusty Kids meal for $1.99. I feel like these prices are...
good.
Well, they're good prices, but they're really cheap because it matches what they're selling there.
Yeah.
It's not the Quickie Mart where you'd overprice for garbage.
Well, it's Krusty Burger. It's fast food. They make all their money on drinks.
Fair. And I don't know, man. I mean, dude, you go to McDonald's now? Yeah, they kind of have their dollar menu, but man, are the prices ridiculously high. Like, I could go to Five Guys, My Burger, or Shake Shack, or a lot of places. Like, I can go to a lot of those places, pay as much as I am now at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And get a much better meal. I mean, In-N-Out Burger is cheaper than McDonald's, and that's better than McDonald's.
That is better than McDonald's.
So, it's so weird to me how McDonald's is raising... I get why everyone has to raise the price. Like, I completely understand. But, man, to go to a different place, get better food...
I mean, I can go to Burger King and get a chicken sandwich and a Whopper for $6, and it's better than McDonald's.
Yes. A lot of places are better than McDonald's.
Yes.
So, yes, as the old folks are carrying Abe out, they all fall down because...
they're old.
They're old. So now we cut to the mall again, and a lot of young girls and Smithers are waiting for Kids Town to open to get the Lisa doll.
Yep.
And as the girls, get to the Lisa doll, they're all rushing in. The employee rolls out a cart with a new Malibu Stacy doll that comes with a hat.
So I have to mention, we collect Funko Pops, and the last big drop was Deku from My Hero Academia.
Yep.
And it was basically the
same mold.
It was the same mold, but it glowed in the dark. Glowed in the dark.
So these are they're doing a lot of these memes.
Yeah.
Like Funko Pop and a lot of other things out there. This Simpsons meme is really popular. They're like, oh, the new Stacy and just like Lisa, like, don't be fooled. It's just the same thing as the other one. It just has a hat. Yeah, but it has a hat.
Well, like, I'm looking at your shelf here in the podcast. You have two Super Shredders. Now, granted, they are technically
they're different molds.
No, they're technically the same molds, except the one mold has him holding the canister of ooze, and it glows in the dark.
Yeah. So look at this hand.
It's closed.
It's closed. This hand, he's doing like a little pinchy thing. Yeah. And this one, his fist is all the way completely closed. So they're technically, the arms are different.
The arms are different, but like the head, like the rest of the mold is the same, but one glows in the dark. I don't think you really have any. There's a ton of Bart, but they're different, like variants.
They're different mold. Yeah. So there's definitely different molds.
Yeah.
I mean, the only molds that I definitely am kind of okay with is like Mr. Burns. Like a good example is Mr. Burns Funko Pop, where the molds are the same, but the product is completely different. Funny is that both things glows in the dark, but one mold
that mold is different. They're all different. They're all different molds.
No, I'm talking about just Mr. Burns. So the Chase.
Oh, the
same mold, but it's like green. It's green and translucent.
Yeah.
So they made that one different enough. The Shredders, the Dekus,
there's so many.
Batmans.
Oh my God, so many I suppose the art series Batmans are the same mold.
Yes, they're all the same mold. Yeah.
But it's crazy because like that's how it is.
I might have to make this meme. I might have to do it for our group with Deku.
Yeah,
I might have to do it.
But
if it doesn't already exist, I definitely got to do it.
But I mean, like, there's a billion like Homer molds, and like it's just I'm trying to think of another mold for Funko that's like the same but different. I think the Flash from the TV show, they did a glow in the dark one.
Yeah,
and there's a common. Yeah, I think those are the same mold. So it's like.
But we're just dumb enough to buy them all.
Well, because it glows in the dark.
It glows in the dark, yes.
Okay, it doesn't come with a hat.
Yes. Lisa, tries to stop the crowd, and everyone rushes it anyways. And Lisa's sad because the big guy can't be beat, but one little girl does actually buy Lisa's doll.
Yeah.
And so Lisa's like, if we get through to just one little girl, it'll all be worth it. And LaBelle's like, yes, particularly if that little girl happens to pay $46,000 for that doll. What? Oh, nothing. Kudos to you, Lisa.
So now here's my question. Now, obviously, that one doll does not cost $46,000.
No, all the dolls do.
Together.
She was saying that if only one person buys it, then they don't sell the rest of them. They're out $46,000.
Now, how many did they make?
We could do simple math, I guess. Let's say maybe that doll cost, what would you think, $8?
$10.
$10?
So they make $4,600?
$4,600. Maybe $5,000. Maybe let's call it $5,000 flat, because most companies aren't going to make a weird.
Yeah, $5,000 flat.
I'd say $5,000 flat they made, just because look at it. You don't know if it's going to be popular.
Yeah.
You want a big enough count because you're kind of rivaling a different brand. Yeah. But you also don't want to do like 10,000, 20,000 because you don't want a bunch of them winding up on the clearance shelves.
Yeah.
Like that director from. What was that? Where you showed me that picture?
Oh, Ava DuVernay.
Yeah,
I have no idea who she is. I don't know what she.
Thousands of those.
It's all on clearance.
Yep. As the Simpsons are walking out, Homer stops to them and says he has something important to attend to, and that is to play the big giant floor piano once again.
But play the Simpsons theme song this time.
And the Simpsons security tries to escort him out because they know we broke it last time. He's like. Yeah. it's not for adults and heavy set.
Well, and
adults.
he broke it again anyway.
He broke it again.
And you hear the feedback underneath the credits.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I absolutely love this episode. I think it sends a very positive message. It's definitely an episode I would really expect to see like now as opposed to 94. Because, in 94, a lot of things are still kind of being swept under the rug and, like, all that stuff. So it's a really, really good episode. The B storyline with Abe was kind of weird, but it was a nice comic relief.
Yes.
It was a very good comic relief. It didn't detract from the A story. The only real thing that kind of made it weird for me was that ending with Homer and the piano, because you have like this nice sentiment where with Lisa and Stacy where like they're trying to make a difference, and then they ended on a comedic note, and to me that just seemed really weird.
Yeah.
It was a funny bit, but it just seemed like I understand why they did it because it plays into the credits.
Yeah.
But it was just a really odd spot. But overall, it didn't ruin the episode. You get some really funny lines. It's a 5. Everything's coming up, Millhouse. I will watch this episode. It's great.
No, absolutely a fantastic episode. I don't think I'm going to go 5. Everything's coming up, Millhouse. I'm going to go 4 sprinkles. It's a great episode. The biggest headline for me is Smithers, you're great at turning me on. I love that line. I'm a kind of fan of Lisa episodes. I'm not overly.
To be perfectly honest, I think this is one of the best Lisa episodes.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't doubt that.
Top 5 Lisa episodes.
Probably top 5 Lisa episodes. Just it doesn't go to the level of classic Simpson episodes for me. But it is fantastically funny. I do love all the bits that are in it. The Matlock thing, I was like, it was a good way to lead. Come on,
if you were an old person and you were told somebody you really admired was coming, you would rush the stage.
I would not rush the stage.
You would.
I'm not completely insane.
Just partially.
Yeah, just partially. The Toy Story thing, the Toy Story part at the beginning, I love that because it really did remind me of, my insane collecting, now. I mean, that's, of all of this episode, that's the one thing that I knew we would talk a lot about. Because I was talking to one of my coworkers, I'm like, we're recording this episode tomorrow. And I'm like, dude, this just ties right into our addiction for Funko Pops. Yeah. Like, it really just, of this episode, that's what really drove me. And that's why I liked it. If I wasn't a collector, I might even go as far as to say this might have been a 3 for me because I really didn't fall into that line. But I think this reminded me a lot of that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? This is a good episode. I wouldn't say great, but it is a good episode, and it definitely fits into, what people are.
And I will say, for the biggest difference between us when it comes to liking episodes, especially one like this, is I really like the not social justice, but like the social commentary. I remember when we started this podcast, I think I had said something along the lines of like the Simpsons used to do this kind of stuff. I don't think they do it too much anymore with like the like what South Park does.
Yeah.
But like this is kind of a South Parky episode to me, but not obviously to the extent that South Park goes to. So that's why I think I also really enjoy it, because I know you just like to watch stuff and not have it thrown at your face.
Exactly.
Where for me, even though I'm only 4 years younger than you, I think I was more affected by like all the different social movements of our generation, and I'm definitely friends with a lot of people who are especially younger than me working in television, and so I think that's why that's the other reason I put it at 5 is because of that social commentary where it's like this episode you could take this episode and put it in a new season and it would fit just fine.
Yeah.
Outside of obviously the animation because it's 94. But
yep. All right, guys, let's finish it off with our character profile. And this week we are highlighting Stacy Lavelle, her occupation, inventor of the Malibu Stacy doll.
Yep.
Her social status, a total recluse. Has not appeared in public in more than 20 years. Yeah, she just likes to stay at her house and get
Is she Howard Hughes?
She's Howard Hughes. Just a chick Howard Hughes.
Yes.
Her appearance, she resembles Malibu Stacy because they obviously took her liking from
her likeness.
Her house resembles the Malibu Stacy dream house.
Yep.
In the catalog.
If
if she ever sells that place, all the girls are going to want to buy it.
Is there a building or a house in pop culture right now that you would love to live in?
What did they recently sell? They just sold a house not too long ago.
The McAllister house?
Yes. No. Yeah, well, live in, yes. I would love to do that, but they put it up as an Airbnb.
Oh, yeah.
But I was reading the article on it. They actually changed a lot of since they filmed there.
Yeah.
They've done a lot of updates to make it more, modern. Because the house, from what I read, the house was built in late 60s, early 70s-ish time.
Gotcha.
So that's why when you watch Home Alone, you see the designer rugs and a lot of the wallpaper and all that. So they actually modernized it. The inside of the house unfortunately doesn't look as close to the McAllister house as normal. But yes, they put it up for Airbnb.
I can't think of a house in pop culture like
Amityville Horror House.
Like that kind of stuff. Like horror, like those kind of horror movies. Yeah, I'll go.
The Michael Myers house.
Okay, maybe not that house. Well, I'll get murdered in that house. But the end, I don't know. I would love to live in the Simpsons house.
Yeah,
it'd be great.
That'd be great. Well, if we ever, here's what we're gonna do: we'll take our inheritance, we'll put that money towards actually building a Simpson house instead of using it for something normal. Life.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody's already built that house.
No, someone did. Yeah. I saw an article about it. But they didn't do it. But IKEA has furniture similar to the Simpson house. Not exact, obviously. Yeah. Her vices, smokes and drinks to excess.
Are you drunk? No, I'm drunk. No, you're not.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, that was a fantastic episode. So, guys, let's get down to brass tacks and tell you where you can find us. Head over to Facebook, The Simpsons Did It Podcast. And as I've mentioned before, you can now listen to our podcast on our Facebook page, which is awesome. When I add it on Sundays, it links right to Facebook and drops our podcast on there. So I know you guys have been listening on there. Be sure to, like and comment on our photos. You can go over to Instagram, The Simpsons Did It Pod. We're posting on there. Twitter, not really posting, but every once in a while.
Well, maybe if we ever get a social media manager.
That's right. We probably need one of those.
Yeah.
If you guys are interested, hit us up. Let us know. Simpsons Did It PC. If you'd like to donate to our podcast, head over to buymeacoffee.com/Simpsons Did It. And all your donations go to help keep this podcast running. And for your donations, we'll send you some stickers. And lastly, check out our YouTube channel. Just type in Simpsons Did It Podcast. Head over there, see what we got. If you want to check out all of our old episodes, currently we are sitting at 50 subscribers.
Ooh,
halfway. So let's keep it subscribing and let's get all the way up to 100 subscribers. That would be awesome. And like and comment on there. I've been commenting with a few of you guys on our YouTube recently, so thank you for listening. Lastly, head over to your cell phone and dial 612-584-0986 and leave us a voicemail. We got Jaden LeBron doing our voicemail message, so if you call for any other reason, just listen to that because it'd be fun, and I'm sure he'd appreciate it. And then you can send him a tweet saying, "Hey, I heard you guys on the Simpsons Did It podcast. You're awesome." I'm sure he'd love to hear that.
Yes.
So until next time, I'm Steven Skolansky.
I'm Robert Skolansky.
And this has been The Simpsons Did It.